Getting ready to head back to trail. I'm gonna bring some leftover fresh vegetables, and I made myself second breakfast, which is a yogurt parfait with avocado, raspberries, and walnuts. Definitely two heavy items, but I will hopefully have them all consumed by lunch. I'm back to the trail, and this is actually one of the first road walks that I have to do. And you can see on these poles the blazes, and that's how you figure out where to go. So there's a blaze on the sign over here and a couple of blazes on the bridge itself. It's not a long road walk, but it's the first one that I've had. So here is where I go back into the woods. You can see the blazes on the rocks, on the poles and the trees. And then it's hard to see it through the camera, but there's this big, huge stairway, which really sucks because I have all this fresh food in my pack, which means my pack is super heavy. I have my full resupply, so that's even heavier. And I have to carry water for about 7 miles because there's no water source. So this is kind of gonna suck. Back in the woods, and I can't really hear the sounds of the road anymore, which is nice. I am fully fueled from breakfast this morning. Ken made some fried banana bread with, I put peanut butter on it and strawberries and whipped cream and even a little honey, side of eggs. He recommended putting honey on eggs. I've never tried that before. It's kind of good. So I just ate a ton of that. I'll either post a photo before or after this video if I remember correctly later. I am carrying a lot of fresh foods. I don't even know how many pounds. And when I climb, I think, why am I doing this? But people carry different things for different reasons. And I'm choosing to carry fresh food and take on the weight of that. And I'm also carrying more food than I need so that I can have healthier foods. And sometimes I wonder if I should be doing that. And so it's helpful for me to just say it out loud as to why I'm doing this. I know people carry pillows and chairs and all kinds of stuff, and I just carry food. I'm also carrying this giant fuel canister. I was not able to find a small one, so that's heavier in my pack. As soon as I find a place to stop that feels good and I am hungry again, which might be hours after my breakfast, I will try to get rid of some of this weight. I found a letterbox. Very cool. So I could open this up and sign the logbook, but I'm probably just gonna put it back where I found it, by this tree. So I've been thinking about, I guess, slowing down in some ways. And I mentioned that before, the last time I came back on trail after being in town, of not going so fast. And that doesn't mean I won't do big miles, because I feel like a lot of those big miles are to kind of outrun the weather, and that's still necessary. But I mean, slowing down, like not walking so fast. I tend to get into camp really early, and then I don't have anything to do. So my goal is to take some more breaks, to walk a little slower. And yeah, I mean, I think some of that, the weather's just been bad. It's been hard to take breaks because it's raining or cold, and so when I stop, I'm cold. but the weather for the next few days is going to be, I think, in the 60s. So be a good opportunity to practice walking slower and taking some breaks. I was able to do my yoga practice this morning at the hostel, and that felt so good. Because it's a daily practice, or it has been, I notice from day to day what's different. And so I can notice when things are going kind of off kilter. And I haven't really had that. But yeah, this morning I noticed a few things that I just need to be mindful of, where I'm starting to get tight. And so I'll be incorporating some extra stretching if I can just remember to do it. I delayered. It's getting warm. I have my fleece, I have my long sleeved underlayer, my puffy. I wasn't wearing my raincoat this morning, but I usually have it on the outside of my pack just because it doesn't fit or anywhere else. Another change, this is where I keep my hammock system, but for today my hammock system is stuffed inside here so that I can carry my yogurt parfait, a banana, and my vegetables. Once I get rid of those, then I will redo my pack a little bit better. It's about 10:30, and I didn't think I was going to be hungry after that giant breakfast, but I am. So, second breakfast, yogurt parfait with some avocado, fresh raspberries, and leftover walnuts from my last resupply. I'm taking my break here by this stream, a water crossing that I guess I just didn't pay attention to. So I didn't need to carry as much water as I did, but I drank most of it. So I'll grab some water while I'm here and then continue on. Bon appetit. That was really good. So this is my cold soak container, my breakfast container, and it worked well to pack out a parfait, which was originally going to be my dessert last night. But then when Ken broke out the, oh goodness, ice cream and root beer floats and cheesecake, I decided not to have the yogurt. But it was so tasty. I'm so glad I brought it with me. Looks like people camped and left all their garbage. So sad. I don't know why people do things like that. If I wasn't through hiking, I would just pick it up and pack it out. But they do have people that come through and clean up, and just shout out to them because it makes such a big difference. I'm trying to focus here on these rocks, get myself across this little stream. So I think part of the reason that I choose to not stop is because it can be so hard to get started again, especially going uphill. Time for a snack. Eat a little protein. I can't believe that I mentioned these bars and liking them better than the Snickers. I mean, Snickers are 250 calories, these are 290. I don't know how many grams of protein are in a Snickers, but it's 11. And then they're on clearance at the store. I mean, they're usually like $3 a piece. And I got 4 for $4. So the trail provides. I'll do a nutrition breakdown if I remember, but these are really good. They're very chewy, and I like that. They're fun when in the winter when they get cold, because it takes some effort to eat and it entertains the mind. They look like this. And the Go Macro bars are not something that I put in my resupply, mostly because they're just processed and more so than some of the other things that I like. And I knew I could find them in some stores. So I tried when I did my resupply boxes to keep that in mind. If I could find it at a store, then I most likely did not purchase it to put in my resupply, unless I got it at a huge discount, like huge, like those Starbucks coffee packets that instead of 8 for $8, I got 50 for $1.78 or something ridiculous. That made it worth it to purchase and then send it in my boxes. So there's a saying out here, out there, whatever, hike your own hike. And it just means you do you, right? You do the miles you want, the pace you want, you bring the gear you want, and all the things. And so I'm trying to figure out what that is for me. Like, what is my own hike? When I backpacked at home, I was wake up with the sunrise, get up early and start hiking. And I don't know, I haven't quite found a rhythm yet. This is a weird thing to find in the middle of the woods. I wonder what it is. Warning. Something says warning. Well, there you go. If you can figure out what it is, let me know. The mountains. So cool. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but when I look out at the mountains, I can see all different shades of blues. I just love that. Made it to my first shelter. I'm the only one here. It's a nice shelter. Feels good to take my pack off. Lots of bear warnings and norovirus warnings. I need water, so that's the reason that I actually came all the way down here. It was a little bit off trail, which is not what I wanted, but I'm gonna take a break. It's 1 o'clock and I have to decide where I'm gonna go. There is a bear box up there for food. And yeah, so this is what a shelter looks like. Bare bones. There's a broom to wipe it out. This is what you sleep on. This has cemented type walls. Most of them are wood. But yeah, no insulation or anything like that. And underneath is nothing. There's a privy over there behind the trees. I'm looking forward to eating some fresh food. It's, you know, the downside of fresh food, if there is one, is that there's no calories in it. So a lot of weight, very little calories. If I'd had more room in my bear canister, I could have packed out some hummus or something as well. But it was full. So I will eat these, and then I'm gonna try that meal replacement thing once I get some water. But these sound so good, and they're full of vitamins and yumminess. So earlier today, I did this wonderful video of me taste testing the meal replacement. And of course, I actually didn't because I didn't hit record. But the gist is that I use the meal replacement in my Talenti like cold soak container. It said to blend it, but I don't have a blender. So that allowed me to shake it really well. And I think it called for 8 ounces of water, 8 to 10 maybe, 6 to 8. So I put in about 8 ounces of water, shook it up, crossed my fingers. Sometimes those things like that don't blend, but it did. It dissolved easily and it tasted delicious. So I was really impressed. I don't know the quality of the product, but it had like chia seeds and some other superfoods in there and 12 grams of protein, 12 or 15. So it's definitely doable. I found it in Walmart, so it'll be easy to get on trail. And I like the fact that it was 6 servings. Most of the time when you buy protein powders, you get, 30, 20 servings, and I can't do that if I'm going to go into town and resupply and just pick something up for the next little bit. So it might be an option. I'll keep trying it out. I am camped for the night. It was a hard day, and I had intentions of going further, but I decided not to. And so I will actually be going to bed really early tonight and maybe hitting sunrise tomorrow. It depends on how I sleep. But right now I'm just cooking dinner, and I'm going to have some hot chocolate and watch the sun go down if I make it that long. So here is camp for the night. I will drop the tarp later. I've been sitting over here eating my dinner and watching the sun set. The sun is continuing to set, and I'm finishing the day with a Snickers bar. I don't get the hype. Still maybe an hour, half hour, something like that till sunset. But it's starting to get chilly. So I climbed into my hammock, and I will kind of hang out here and then drop my tarp in a little bit and go to sleep. The sun hasn't quite set, but I am tired. So I'm going to close up shop and go to bed.